Hello everyone, welcome to my Java tutorial. And in this tutorial, we are going to continue with our banking application. So let's begin. Now, in the previous tutorial, we saw this class bank account and we saw three of its methods, that is deposit, withdraw, and get previous transaction. And there is one method which is left, and that is show menu. Now, before I go into the show menu method, there is one more thing which I want to add in this class, and that is a constructor. Okay, so bank account, and as you know, constructor has the same name as that of the class and it has no return type. So I'll take two values as parameters. Okay, so cname, which is the customer name, and cid, which is the customer ID. Okay, so what I'm going to do is, while creating the object of bank account, I'm going to pass two values in its constructor, that is the customer's name and ID. And why are we going to do this? Because we'll be needing these values while displaying the welcome message for the user. Okay, so here what I'll do is I'll just assign these values. Okay, equal to cname and customer ID is equal to cid. Okay, so let's save it. Yeah, so this is done. Now let's move on to the show menu method. Now inside the show menu method, what we are going to do is we are going to display a menu, right? And before that, we also want to display a welcome message, right? So I'll just start off with the first line. So in the first line, I've created a char variable which I've initialized to some value. Again, don't worry about this value. It is just like how we initialize integer with 0. Similarly, we initialize a char with this value. Okay, you can initialize it with any value which you want, right? Now, this is the scanner, and we have already seen what a scanner does. It is used to take user input from the console. Okay, so I've created a scanner object over here. Now, these two lines are for displaying the welcome message. So what it will display? It will display welcome and then concatenate it with the customer name. Right, then your ID is customer ID. So these two variables we are going to initialize via this constructor. Okay, yeah. Now let's move on. Now this statement, it includes a line break, which means that it will display a space of line. Okay, it is just for making the application look good, right? So after these two lines there will be a space, and after that these options will be displayed. So as you can see, there are 5 options: check balance, deposit, withdraw, previous transaction, and exit. Now, after that we have the do while loop. Now you already know what a do while loop does. So it means that do this set of statements while option not equal to E. And why is that? Because E stands for exit. So whenever the user clicks on exit, or whenever the user enters E, this loop will break and the user will come out of the loop, and this message will be displayed: thank you for using our services. Right, now I'll explain what is there inside the while loop. Do while loop. Okay, now let's begin. So this first statement is just some for display purposes. Then we have enter option, and then again a line, right? Then after that, I'm just reading a character from the console. So the user will be entering some character over here, which we are going to capture in the option variable. Okay, now I'm passing this option variable in the switch case, right? Now we also know how a switch case works. So this variable will be compared with each of the cases, right? And wherever it finds a match, it will execute the corresponding code. Now, for example, if I enter A as the option, then this case will be matched and this code will be executed, and so on, right? So let us consider the first case. Now in this case, what we are going to do is we are going to display the balance. So for doing that, this is just for display purpose, and here what I'll say is balance is equal to balance. So this is the variable which I'm printing. Okay, and again we have a line break over here. Yeah, so that's it. So it's quite simple. The next one is deposit. Now for depositing, I'll need the amount which we want to deposit. So I'll ask the user enter an amount to deposit, and then we'll use the scanner object to take the input. and the value which we get, we'll place it in a variable amount, right? Now once we get that, we'll just pass that variable amount in the deposit method. So this amount will be taken by the deposit method and then it will perform its operations. And we've already seen how it works, right? Yes. And after that, there is again a line break. Yeah. And yeah, this break is required because it is part of the syntax of the switch case, right? So again here, this break is required, even here. Right. Now let us consider the next case, which is C. Now what C says is withdraw. Okay. Now again, we are going to do the same thing. So we will first ask for the amount which we want to withdraw. Then we'll take the amount from the console, and then we'll pass that amount in the withdraw method. And again, the withdraw method will take the amount and deduct it from the balance, right? So and also set the value of the previous transaction. We have already seen how it works. Now let's move on. Yes, so the next case is previous transaction. Now in this case, it will just call this get previous transaction method, and also we have seen that method, right, how it works. Now the final case is default, which means that if we enter some character which does not belong to any of these cases, right? For example, if we enter F, which is not present in any of these cases, then it will display this message, right, which says invalid option, please enter again. Okay, so this is the way it works. As long as the user doesn't enter E, this loop will go on executing. So it will keep on asking the user for entering a value, okay, or entering an option, right? The moment the user enters E, this loop will break and the user will see this message. Okay, so this is the way our program or application works. In the next tutorial, we'll run this program and see if everything works fine. So thank you guys. See you in my next tutorial.